Hey football fans, week 6 already. Here we go with week 6. Can you believe it? A month and a half into the football season. Look, feels like just a week ago we were waiting for it to get here. Now it's almost half over. Hard to believe, but if you're a fantasy football player, you know that approaching the home stretch now where you really make your move if you're going to win your fantasy football league. And information to give you an edge is at a premium, and it's very important at this time of the season. And that's what my website, GameDayInActive.info, is all about. We're going to provide you not with pages and pages of information about who missed practice on Wednesday and who did this on Thursday. And I know the GM and I'm talking to him behind the scenes. Don't worry about all that. All we're worried about is what happens on Sunday morning when the coaches turn in the inactive list and we find out really who's playing and who's not playing. That's all that matters to you if you're a fantasy football player, or if you lay a little bit on the side. We don't want to talk about it too much, but I'm talking about. So don't worry about all these other fantasy football sites. $9.95 will get you exactly what you need, and that's just a final word on all these injured players that are questionable, or the game time decision that everybody likes to throw around that term. What that means is we're not going to tell you until game day, and as soon as the coaches release that information to the league, we release it to you. So that's why you need to be on GameDayInActives.info. You see it right up there. Type it in. Go there right now. Check it out. You got all kinds of sample pages. See exactly what you're getting for your money. And it's only $9.95 for the whole season. And if you just have maybe 1 week where you got a couple of injured players and you don't want to invest the whole $9.95, $2.95. $2.95 will get you that 1 week's information, just as if you were a full season member, but you only have access for that 1 week for $2.95. Okay, so can't beat that price. All the fantasy sites out there right now are $20, $30, $40 for the season. We're just $9.95. That's GameDayInActives.info. When you go there on Sunday morning, if you're a member, you're going to get a very easy to use menu where you just go right to the information you're looking for. And what's more than that, we'll even email you all the information or send it to you on your cell phone. So if you're at the tailgate party and you haven't checked the news Sunday morning, you're going to get an alert on your cell phone. Hey, Matt Schaub isn't playing this week. That's what happened last week. Nobody knew about that because he got sick on Saturday night. We told all of our members 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So if you had Matt Schaub in your lineup, you had time to go change it. That's why it's important. GameDayInActives.info is where you need to go. All right, let's roll through the Week 6 list. There's still a lot of names on this list that are going to impact the fantasy teams this week. So let's start with the running backs. Running backs the most important fantasy football position for most leagues, and got some big names on here. Willie Parker with the knee, probably still not going to play this week, but keep an eye on that. Brian Westbrook. Every week Brian Westbrook's on this list for some different ailment. Last week it was the knee, but before that it was shoulder. This time he's got fractured ribs, and if he's going to play at all, he probably won't play much. So I would keep a very close eye on that. We'll tell you the final word on Sunday morning, but I'd pick up Correll Buchalter if you can, just to be sure. Selvin Young's a new name on this list. The running back in Denver got a groin pull that happened last week, and he's very questionable this week. Willis McGahee, another name that keeps popping up here, still got the chest contusion, and we'll have to see about that. Maurice Morris still battling the knee. Lindale White limited with the shoulder, so keep an eye on that. And the two running backs in Oakland, Justin Fargas with the groin, still giving him a problem, and Darren McFadden, who gave us some early signs of brilliance, but hasn't done much since he got that turf toe. He's still questionable this week, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen with him. Keep an eye on that. Now let's look at the quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers threw for 300 yards last week against Atlanta. Still lost the game, but it looked like the shoulder was okay, but he did get banged around a little bit in that game, and he's limited in practice again this week. Still listed as questionable, so keep an eye on that. Trent Edwards in Buffalo with a concussion. Buffalo is certainly not the same offensive team without Trent Edwards in there. They got blown out last week. So take a look at what Trent Edwards' status is on Sunday morning, and in order to do that, GameDayInActive.info is where you need to be. Brian Griese got banged up last week, came out of the game. Jeff Garcia came in. Griese still got the elbow soreness, and I read today where John Gruden has made 11 in-season quarterback changes since he got to Tampa in 2004. Could be looking at number 12 this week. I think he wanted to give Garcia a little bit of a lesson in check his heart a little bit. He came back, played pretty well last week, even though they lost. He's sort of hinting that he might go to Garcia this week, even if Brian Griese is healthy. So just watch that very closely to see who's going to be starting. Jon Kitna, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Terrible team, but a good fantasy quarterback because they're down 20, 30 points in every game. He's got to just throw the ball all over the place. So if he's not getting a lot of points, he's still racking up a good bit of yardage at times. So a guy that you want on your roster at least. He's got a back problem, may not play this week. So keep an eye on that. And Matt Hasselbeck, the often injured Matt Hasselbeck, got sacked again last week on that knee, and he's banged up. Don't know if he's going to play yet or not. So watch that closely. Now let's roll through the wide receivers. You got Deion Branch. Came back last week, and from being out for quite some time, and he got banged up again. Now got another knee issue, so you want to make sure that you keep an eye on that. Also, I believe he's got a groin pull, so very, very questionable again to play this week. Chris Chambers in San Diego with a sore ankle. Eddie Royal, big name in Denver with a sore ankle. Anquan Bolden, of course, didn't play last week after taking the big shot. He's got a fractured sinus and also a concussion. Probably won't play this week, but they just have to monitor him almost daily to see if he's ready to come back. So watch that closely. DJ Hackett in Carolina, sore knee. He's a guy that they go to on third down a lot. Again, does get some decent yardage and may score a touchdown every now and then. Dominic Hickson, he emerged last week as a huge wide receiver in New York with the Giants. Made several big plays, but he got a concussion during that game, so he's questionable to play this week. Plus, Plaxico comes back this week, so he could be somewhat limited as well. So just keep an eye on that. We'll let you know if he's in the game or not. That's Hickson I'm talking about. Lauren Robinson in Atlanta, another big play guy trying to come back from a knee problem. He's missed 2 games. May get back this week against the Bears, so check that out. And then in Tampa Bay, Joey Galloway still battling the foot problem, and we don't know his status as of yet, so you want to keep a close eye on that as well. And tight ends, really the only name on the list this week is Tony Scheffler in Denver. Got a groin issue. Watching our inactive reports when they come out on Sunday morning for his name. And if you want to look at just a handful of other positions that may impact indirectly some of the fancy numbers, Carolina doesn't really seem to affect them. Both of their starting tackles are banged up, but they put up 441 yards of offense last week against Kansas City with 2 backup tackles, so it doesn't seem to slow them down much. Chad Clifton, a left tackle in Green Bay, battling a hamstring, could keep him out. Jason Taylor, Dwight Freeney, 2 big defensive ends that rack up a lot of numbers in IDP leagues. Both have calf injuries, could be out this week, so keep an eye on that. Bob Sanders, don't expect him back for at least a couple of weeks. He's got the ankle and the knee. A couple of cornerbacks to look at. Kelly Jennings in Seattle with a concussion. Terrence Newman in Dallas with a groin pull. Patrick Surtain still trying to come back with the shoulder problem there. And Al Harris in Green Bay had some internal issues with the spleen. He's not well yet, so keep an eye on that. He'll try to get back as soon as he can. Lawrence Tynes, a place kicker in New York. We thought he might come back last week. Turned out to be on the inactive list. So our members knew that before anyone else. And Dwan Landry, the safety in Baltimore that makes some big plays, still coming back from the spinal cord injury. He's questionable at best this week to get back. He's missed 2 or 3 games already. So there you have it. A good list of names that are going to affect fantasy numbers, and some other, if you're laying any money down, you want to know this information because it could be the difference in at least 3 points here or there in these games. So, our members are going to know before anyone else who's in and who's out, and that's really all that matters, as I said, on Sunday mornings, is when those lists come out. And rather than searching for all the newspaper sites and all the other fantasy sites out there, just trying to get a tidbit here, a tidbit there, it's all there for you. Every inactive player on every team in every game, right there. They start coming in about 11 o'clock, and every time you refresh your screen, there's more information there for you. If you're looking at for a player, say on the Bears, that you want to know if he's going to play or not, you just click Chicago Bears, and right there it gives you the list. As soon as it comes out, it'll be there for you. Can't beat it. $9.95, or as I said, for 1 week access, only $2.95. There it is right there, GameDayInactive.info. That's where you want to be on Sunday morning to get the final word on all the injuries and all the inactive players. No fuss, no fluff, just the final word. That's our tagline. That's what we do here, and I want you right there at GameDayInactives.info.